I didn't cry when I read the text. My hands were shaking, but I smiled, because somewhere deep down, I think I already knew. "Mom, this is awkward. Can you leave?" 12 words. That's all it took to shatter 35 years of motherhood into something I didn't recognize anymore. Let me back up. My name is Margaret, though everyone calls me Maggie. I'm 62 years old, and I spent 30 years teaching kindergarten in Boston public schools. I retired 3 years ago with a modest pension, a one-bedroom apartment in Dorchester, and a belief that I'd done something right. I raised a daughter, a successful daughter, Victoria. My Vicky. She's 35 now, a corporate lawyer at one of those glass tower firms downtown, married to Brad, a finance guy who wears ties that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. They have 2 kids, Emma, 8, and little Jack, 5. My grandchildren. I loved them. God, I loved them. For 7 years, since Victoria got married, I've sent her $800 a month. Every month, without fail, 10% of my pension. I told myself it was for the kids, private school fees, music lessons, soccer uniforms, the things I could never afford to give Victoria when she was growing up. My husband, Tom, died 12 years ago. Heart attack at 54. One minute he was reading the newspaper at breakfast, the next minute he was gone. Victoria was 23 then, just graduated from law school. She'd already met Brad. I remember Tom's last coherent words were about her. "Make sure Vicky never struggles like we did, Maggie. Promise me." I promised. And I kept that promise even when it hurt. I worked double shifts as a teacher's aide on top of my regular job. I skipped vacations. I drove a car held together by duct tape and prayer. I ate a lot of pasta. But Victoria? She had everything she needed for law school. A nice apartment near campus, textbooks, a laptop, business clothes for interviews. When she married Brad 7 years ago, they bought a house in Wellesley. You know, one of those suburbs where every lawn looks like it's been manicured with scissors. Gated community, 3-car garage, the works. I was so proud. My little girl had made it. But somewhere along the way, the phone calls got shorter, the visits got rarer, and I became less of a mother and more of a, what's the word? A deposit, a monthly transaction. Still, I kept sending the money, because that's what mothers do, right? We give, we sacrifice, we love unconditionally. Until 3 weeks ago, Thanksgiving week. I called Victoria on Monday. "Hi, honey," I said, trying to sound casual. "I was thinking about Thanksgiving. Should I bring my sweet potato casserole? Or maybe the pumpkin pie? You know how the kids love my..." "Mom." She cut me off. Her voice had that clipped, professional tone she uses with opposing counsel. "This year we're doing Friendsgiving. Just our circle. Brad's college friends and their families. It's kind of a thing." Oh. I felt something twist in my chest. "So, no family dinner? We'll do something another time. Maybe Christmas. I don't know. Things are really busy right now. Brad's up for partner and I'm handling this major case, and the kids have all these activities." "I understand," I said, even though I didn't. I spent Tuesday and Wednesday staring at the walls of my apartment. I cooked anyway, made my casserole, baked the pie, because maybe, I thought, maybe I could drop it off. Just see the kids for 5 minutes. Say hello. Happy Thanksgiving. Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day, I woke up at 6. I put on my nice sweater, the blue one Victoria had given me for my birthday 2 years ago. Or was it 3? I couldn't remember the last time she'd actually handed me a gift, instead of sending an Amazon package. I drove to Wellesley. 45 minutes in traffic, my old Honda making concerning noises the whole way. I had the casserole in a dish on the passenger seat, still warm, the pie in the back. Their house looked like a magazine photo. There were cars in the driveway. Expensive cars. I could hear laughter and music coming from inside. Through the big bay window, I could see people. Beautiful people in beautiful clothes, holding wine glasses, smiling. I walked up the front steps, rang the doorbell. Victoria answered. She was wearing a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her face went pale when she saw me. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "I brought food," I said, holding up the casserole. "I thought maybe." "Mom." She stepped onto the porch and pulled the door closed behind her. "This is awkward. Can you leave?" I stood there. The casserole was getting heavy in my hands. "Leave? We talked about this. Friendsgiving. It's not a family thing. Brad's clients are here. Important people. And you." She glanced at my outfit. My old blue sweater. My sensible shoes. "You're not really dressed for this kind of event." Something inside me went very quiet. "I'm your mother," I said. "I know, Mom, and I appreciate you coming all this way, but this is just, it's not a good time, okay? Please?" Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. "I have to get back inside, just go home. We'll talk later." She went back inside. The door closed. The lock clicked. I stood on that porch for a full minute. Then I walked back to my car. I put the casserole on the passenger seat. I sat behind the wheel, but I didn't start the engine. I don't know what made me stay. Maybe it was stubbornness. Maybe it was disbelief. Maybe it was the part of me that still couldn't accept what had just happened. I sat there for 10 minutes, 15, 20, and then I heard voices. The bay window was open, just a crack, for air, probably, but enough. Victoria's voice carried across the lawn. "I mean, she just showed up. With food. Like this is some 1950s family dinner." A man's voice. "Brad, did you tell her not to come?" "I told her we were doing Friendsgiving. She knows she's not part of our circle." Another voice. A woman I didn't recognize. "That's your mom though. On Thanksgiving." "You don't understand," Victoria said. I could picture her waving her wine glass. She does that when she's explaining something she thinks is obvious. My mother has this thing where she thinks because she taught kindergarten for 30 years, she can lecture everyone about gratitude and family values. She doesn't get that we've evolved past that. We have different priorities. "She seems sweet," the woman said. "She's exhausting," Brad said, "always wanting to be involved, always asking about the kids. That monthly money she sends? That's not love, that's guilt money. Her way of buying relevance." There was laughter. Multiple people laughing. And Victoria didn't stop them. "Exactly," she said. $800 a month and she thinks it buys her a seat at the table. It doesn't. It pays for Emma's piano lessons. That's it. I turned the key. Started the car. Drove away. I don't remember the drive home. I don't remember parking. I don't remember walking into my apartment. But I remember sitting at my kitchen table with my laptop open. I logged into my bank account, found the automatic transfer, the one that had been running for 7 years, 84 months, $67,200. Guilt money. I clicked cancel. Then I opened my email. Found the contact information for my lawyer, the one who helped me with Tom's estate 12 years ago. I wrote, "Dear Mr. Patterson, I need to update my will and life insurance beneficiaries. Please call me to schedule an appointment. It's urgent." The life insurance policy Tom had left was for $150,000. Victoria had been the sole beneficiary. Not anymore. Friday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls, 34 text messages, all from Victoria. "Mom, did you forget the transfer?" "Mom, the money didn't come through. Is everything okay?" "Mom, this isn't funny. You need to call me back right now." I made coffee. I sat at my kitchen table. I watched the messages roll in. Then Brad started calling. His voicemails got progressively more aggressive. "Margaret, this is Brad. Victoria is very upset. Whatever game you're playing needs to stop. This is childish behavior. Margaret, you're using money as a weapon. Do you realize that? This is financial abuse of a senior. Yes, that's what this is. You're abusing yourself financially to punish us." I almost laughed at that one. Saturday, I ignored all calls. I went to the library. I checked out 3 books I'd been meaning to read. I bought myself lunch at a nice cafe. A real lunch. Soup and a sandwich and a piece of cake. I usually never spend money on myself like that. It felt wonderful. Sunday morning, my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Victoria was standing there, still in expensive clothes, but she looked tired. Her makeup was smudged. I opened the door. "Mom." She pushed past me into the apartment. "We need to talk." "About what?" "About this." She gestured wildly. "This manipulation, this punishment, whatever you're doing." "I'm not doing anything," I said calmly. "I'm just not giving you money anymore. You can't just stop. I budget for that. Emma's piano teacher expects payment. Do you want me to pull her out of lessons?" "She's your daughter," I said. "You're a corporate lawyer. Brad works in finance. I think you can afford piano lessons." "That's not the point." "Then what is the point, Victoria?" She stared at me. "You're being manipulative, using money to control us." "No." I walked to the kitchen, poured myself coffee. My hands were steady. "I'm retiring from being an ATM." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means for 7 years, I've sent you money I could barely afford. I drove a car that was falling apart. I never went on vacation. I ate pasta 6 nights a week, because I promised your father I'd make sure you never struggled. And we appreciate. But you're not struggling." I turned to face her. "You have a house in Wellesley. You make, what, $250,000 a year between the two of you? Probably more. You don't need my $800 a month. It's not about need. It's about you being part of." "Part of what?" I asked. "Part of Emma's piano lessons? Because that's all I was, wasn't it? According to Brad, according to you, guilt money that pays for piano." Her face went white. "You were there. On Thursday. You heard." "I heard." "Mom, I didn't mean." "Yes, you did." I set down my coffee cup. "You meant every word. And you know what? You were right. I was trying to buy relevance. I was trying to buy a seat at your table. Because somewhere along the way, I forgot that love isn't supposed to be a transaction." "So what?" Victoria's voice rose. "You're just cutting me off? Punishing me?" "I'm not punishing you. I'm choosing myself. For the first time in 12 years. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she said, "You're being selfish." "Maybe I am. The kids are going to ask why Grandma doesn't help anymore." "Tell them the truth," I said. "Tell them Grandma realized she can't buy love." Victoria grabbed her purse, walked to the door, turned back. "Brad was right about you. You're bitter and jealous because we succeeded and you didn't." She left, slammed the door. I sat down on my couch. And then, finally, I cried. But not because I regretted it. I cried because I should have done it years ago. 3 weeks passed. Thanksgiving faded into December. I used some of the money I'd been sending Victoria to buy myself a new winter coat. A real one, the kind that's actually warm. I went to the movies alone. I joined a book club at the library. I didn't hear from Victoria at all. And then, 2 days ago, something strange happened. I was reading in my apartment when there was a knock at my door. Not the doorbell, a knock. Soft, hesitant. I opened it. Emma and Jack stood there. My grandchildren. Emma was holding Jack's hand. They were wearing their school uniforms. "Grandma?" Emma said. Her voice was small. "Sweetheart." I dropped to my knees. "What are you doing here? Where's your mother?" "She's at work," Emma said. "We took the bus. Well, we took 2 buses, and we walked some." "You what?" My heart was pounding. "Does she know you're here?" Emma shook her head. "She said we can't see you anymore, that you're being difficult, but Jack wanted to give you something." She nudged her brother. Jack pulled a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket. "A drawing. Stick figures," one said Grandma in careful 5-year-old handwriting. The other 2 said, "Me and Emma." "We miss you," Jack said. I pulled them both into a hug. And I cried again. But this time, it was different. "I miss you too, my loves. So much." "Mommy says you're mad at her," Emma said. "Are you?" I thought about that. "No," I said finally. "I'm not mad. I'm just learning how to love her better." What does that mean? It means sometimes love means letting people go, even when it hurts. Emma frowned. That doesn't make sense. I know, sweetheart. It doesn't make sense to me either yet. My phone rang. Victoria. Panicking, probably, realizing the kids weren't at their after-school program. You need to call your mother, I said. Let her know you're safe. Emma called. I could hear Victoria's voice through the phone, screaming, crying. What were you thinking? You could have been kidnapped. You're grounded for a month. 20 minutes later, Victoria's car screeched into my parking lot. She stormed up the stairs, burst through my still-open door, grabbed both kids. Get in the car. Now. Emma and Jack ran out. Victoria turned to me. Her eyes were red. If you ever... I didn't ask them to come, I said quietly. They came because they love me. Maybe you should think about what that means. She opened her mouth, closed it, and then she said something I didn't expect. I'm sorry. I blinked. What? I'm sorry, her voice cracked. Not about the money, about what I said, about you. You didn't deserve that. I didn't say anything. Brad and I have been fighting, she continued. About you, about the kids, about everything. He said if I apologized to you, I'd be showing weakness. But Emma and Jack running away to find you because they miss you so much? She wiped her eyes. That's not weakness. That's me failing as a mother. You're not failing. I am. Because I forgot where I came from. I forgot who sacrificed everything so I could have everything. I wanted to hug her. But I didn't move. I can't go back to how things were, Victoria. I can't be your ATM. I won't. I know. I don't want you to be. She took a shaky breath. Can we start over? Just you and me and the kids? No money, no guilt, just family? I looked at my daughter, really looked at her, and I saw that little girl I used to pack lunches for. The one who used to bring me dandelions and call them flowers. The one who cried on her first day of kindergarten and made me promise I'd never leave her. I'd like that, I said. She nodded, started to leave, then turned back. Mom? Would you want to come to Christmas? Just us. No Brad's clients, no Friendsgiving circle, just family. I'll think about it, I said. She smiled. A real smile. The first one I'd seen in years. After she left, I sat on my couch with Jack's drawing. I put it on my refrigerator with a magnet. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if Victoria means what she said. I don't know if we can rebuild what we had, but I know one thing. I'm not invisible anymore. And I'm not for sale.